Oh, there we go. Now we're live. All right. Hi, YouTube. Pretty easy to chart Q compared to SPY. And I've found that to be most of the time. One of the reasons I tend to focus on SPY is because it tends to be a bit more volatile, which means it gives me more opportunity to grab quick options positions. Q will do the same, but it doesn't quite have the volatility, so the percentage in delta shift is not quite as rewarding as the SPY options would be when you're right. It's just a slightly less implied volatility, slightly less delta shift on Q options versus SPY. So it's still lucrative. It's still easy to trade. You can do the same thing with the conversion strategy on that with Q. It's just it's not as frequent that you're going to be making sizable returns on that. All right, SPY heading for the top of the box. And look at this. 1 minute 200 period is right there and top of the big bar from the open. Let's see what that looks like on the 5-minute chart. Pushing a bar through the 8 period. So we can set up a double bottom here, test that support one more time, or we can just straight up trend. Q went to first upper division pretty readily. We have a 1-for-1 done right here inside the second zone. Typically this will follow through and keep pushing. And IWM with a big old pullback. That's what I would like to expect on that. That is a new pivot zone, 179.13. SPY pushing a bar on top of the 200. We're outside of this control bar. And we're outside of the box. No more 1-for-1. That's done. Pull back nice and beautiful. Right to half the move. Q tapped the top of that second zone or division. The typical setup here would be expected for a little wedge or a little accumulation or bull pennant, if you would. It'll kind of look similar to this, where it gets tighter, pops off the 8 period, and finishes the move. When you see these, definitely apply that 60-40 rule because it's still a pennant. There's indecision in here. And if you look at this on a bigger time frame, it'd probably set up a doji or a spinner like it did here with SPY on the 1 minute. So to verify, you've got the 5-minute popped right up to the 20 period, rejected with a wick. Look for a pullback to about half that previous move, about 415.45, which we're hitting right now. Back to the 1 minute, that should be the 20 period. There it is. If this doesn't close a wick right here, this can be bad. We're going to go right back down. You get a bearish end pattern out of that. But we have the base of liquidity here, so let this candle print, and if it doesn't print a tweezer bottom here, you could get a Morningstar setup or a bar spinner bar. So you can just take a mini box on that. whole move. And you
Good
can
morning.
it.
Morning.
Morning.
We formed the box, man.
Many boxes.
Now it's we got the mini box there. So I mean, I'm looking at 4181 on the ES. I break a 4188. I'm looking at 4181. And then 4179, which are all bar gaps there still open on the 5 minutes from overnight.
Right.
And it looks like we have a divergence. If you look at MACD, we have a divergence on the 5 minutes. MACD's pointing down while price went up from 6 a.m. That's when things turned around. So just waiting for that to play out.
Yep. And with the 1 minute here, like I said, we got the doji. We'll either get a bar, spinner, bar, and finish a move down to here. This completes a big old end pattern. Or we hold here and print a morning star, come to the top of the box. And if this ends up being a 3-bar, where you get that move back up to the top of this previous bar, sometimes you can get a very quick bearish retracement trade on that thing. And we didn't get that, so we're waiting on a accumulation here. This can give us a measured move still. But look, there's a double bottom. And it's right in the base of that supply zone. So either double bottom or bear flag. We know how those roll. That pivot comes right to R1 or H1. So you got L1, H1, L2. And now we're coming back off a test. It'll either make it or break it right here. And if it's a bear flag, it gives us a quick bearish measured move. Puts us in the bottom of the 1 minute box. If it is an actual double bottom where you get a reversal, you get a 50% retracement and either continuation to the top of the box or the old pop and drop bear flag where it breaks over and runs even faster to the bottom. And if we run outside of this liquidity, our expected move is down here to the 414 pivot. And the next supply zone's way the hell down here at 410.50. Here's another thing to pay attention to. When you have a known gap, that's what these green lines are, and that comes back to that 4-hour chart where I found that gap. We went right to it. We came into it overnight with a measured move right to the top of it. So if we become bearish here, we can get a nice trend day back to that 412 pivot. Pretty easy. That's fascinating. We tested the half of the box.
We're holding VWAP for a bit though.
Yeah. This could still be a bear flag and finish our 1-for-1, but this is weird how it found support here. Kind of hanging in space. That's a very short trend to be putting in a double bottom, but it's possible right here. It looks like IWM gave us that 1-for-1 here and broke over further. I don't really have a supply-demand zone printed out for that, but I do have a 50% retracement base right here where it's at now.
Watch out for this ginormous red candle gonna form on the 1 minute right now on ES.
Yep.
It's about to happen right here.
So there's one thing to know though. Watch your order flow, or if you watch your volume profile where you can see all the orders stacking up. They're probably equivalent on the ES right at that 415 level. Because there's a wick here for failed breakout. When you see those get jerked off the book at the last second, like one tick away, you know it'll just tip it right over to the next support zone. It's like there'll be a big old bar sticking out to buy right there, and then all of a sudden, poof, it gets pulled off the book. They cancel the order that stinking fast within one tick. I've seen it all the time. Bam. 1-for-1 completed to the bear side right here.
Hey, man.
Morning.
Morning.
Just watching the candles grow.
Look at the size. Look at the size of that. Look at the size of those candles right there. Boom. First target.
2-for-1. Here comes a 2-for-1
First
right
target
there.
net. We're coming in 4180. Come on.
Blammo. Noise.
Come on.
I did finally manage to condor that thing.
The divergence played right there.
Yep.
You know, those three 1 minute candles. That's the divergence playing right there.
Yeah. 2-for-1 was perfect right there. Nice. So remember that 414 pivot is now a magnet. We can consolidate here for a couple bars and then tip over and finish another 1-for-1 just below it to like 413.70.
Wow, right at the 20 movement, right at the 200. Wow.
Trash can that.
Diaz
What was the
bounced right
divergence?
at the 200.
I missed it.
He had the
No, there was a MACD divergence on the 5 minutes.
Ah.
That started around 6 a.m. today.
Yep.
Yeah. So it just crossed below the zero line, and it, that was the effect of those two big red candles right there on the 5.
Played out perfect, huh?
Yep, played out perfectly right there. I love divergence, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, we're consolidating in the bottom of that box here. Look how long those wicks are. This is a short-term demand zone. Or, sorry. Yeah, demand zone. And if it can't hold here, that 414 is a magnet. It'll pop right through it.
All right, so we're forming a micropennant now.
And if we remember what we did with Q, we got those subdivisions. I might need to adjust this one just a little bit. There you go. We're at the lower half subdivision.
Ooh. Micro double bottom right there.
Yep.
Right at 41.82.
There's your 5-second. Now this still looks a little bit like a bear flag on the 5-second. Don't mock its power though.
Let me go down to the 10-second chart and here see that. Yeah, but you see that micro twice micro double bottoms right there? 41.82.25.
This one and this one?
I'm not watching your screen, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. it's stretching like a much bigger bear flag, and a 1-for-1. Draw a new box.
Yeah, so I had a order triggered at 41.93, so I'm 10 points in.
Yeah, a 1-for-1 takes us straight to that 414 pivot. Like, it's starting right now. Which gives us 3-for-1
Come
on the
on,
bear side break
41.80.
for the 1 minute chart here.
41.80, come on. Come on.
Go, gadget put side.
41.80.
Here it comes.
Yeah, that was a nice 10-second fake out right there.
So we're in talks with, or we're beginning talks with TradingView this week, as far as setting up a partnership. So hopefully we can get some really deep discounts for everybody.
Yeah, hey Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sig had told me that he knew somebody who had got a free trial for premium, and it lapsed. So they emailed the person and said, "Hey, your trial's up." And he responded to them saying, "I can't afford it." So then they gave him like a deal better than Black Friday. So I
Sweet.
made a support ticket yesterday and asked them if they could help because I can't afford premium and I missed Black Friday, and they told me to sit on it and rotate.
Wow.
So if you'd kindly share that with them.
Yeah. I
No.
will.
But you have to wait for it to. Did you wait for it to lapse, or did you start? Did you send them a letter?
No, I mean,
Did you send them a letter without?
if they're going to make an exception for somebody that can't afford it because their trial lapsed, if I'm already a member paying for Pro and I'm saying, hey, I need premium, but I can't afford it right now, I missed Black Friday, there's no reason they can't make an exception.
Right. Yeah,
They,
it's kind of shitty.
you know what? The customer service man, they have like, they can't. Their bosses tell them if this happens, you can do this, but if this doesn't happen, you can't do this. So they get like fired if they give you the exception. Because I did the same thing as you, and they told me to sit on it and rotate also. So I waited until Black Friday that time. But I've spoken to a few more people who did like Sig said, and it actually does work. But you have to wait for the trial to. If they sign up for the free trial for premium, wait for it to lapse. When it goes out, you send them a letter, and then the customer service has it in their like rules that they can give you the cheaper discount.
Damn, we just smashed the 414 pivot.
Yep, we're now going. We're heading down.
trending.
We're heading down 41.69. Come on.
412's next. That's the bottom of the gap.
Give me my mortgage payment.
Right?
That's Tesla, man. Look at Tesla. Tesla just took a drastic freaking
Yeah, I've got
$5 down almost right there.
a Condor in Tesla, and the put side's starting to wake up. I might just.
Yeah, those spreads I got, they might have just expired, worthless, because I
pushed
they were
out
$18.
a Condor to May 5th expiration so I can take advantage of the earnings play. But it's tight. I've got the top side's at 260, 265. The bottom side's at 120, 115. So they're cheap, and I'm just looking for that percentage swing on either side. If one side washes the other, I'll just butterfly it and wait for the other bounce. All right, so we did breach the 414, but we closed a nice wick down into that liquidity and popped the body right back to 14. So this bar here can be a tweezer bottom. If this holds a reversal, we could go back for a 50% retracement down up to 414.75, and if that continues to full reversal, we go right back to our liquidity zone. So yeah, there's a nice looking tweezer. Let's see if we shake out.
That was 4 points up right there from the doji.
And IWM
We
hit the
just
next
hit the-
pivot too. So and then Q right down as predicted, angular support through the bottom division. Now we're going to come and test the top, that bottom division again. This is a little bit ominous, though. We got a 8-period breach and a 20-period test. There, it just smoked the 20-period. And there's a 1-minute inverted hammer right here. Let that close, 2 seconds. Bam. Watch for a quick evening star here. You get 1 for 1 right
Cast,
back to the bottom of that bar.
Sorry.
It's okay, go ahead.
Cass, you know how to sign up for the premium trial? If I'm can I do it if I'm already a member?
What you can do, no, but what you can do is you can sign up with a new account with a new credit card, do the free premium trial, and then just take the new, like, downgrade it like that. But try to time it with when the membership that you have, like, cancels. You know what I mean? So you don't have to pay for 2 memberships at the same time.
There we go. No 1 for 1. But watch Q. It's going to test this division line right here.
Yeah, I've already set everything up and linked it to Tradeovate, so I'm not doing that. It took me like 3 hours. I'm not doing it again.
No.
And I'm actually, after, since I can't get tossed, I'm finally able to actually chart on TradingView the real-time futures. So
Awesome.
Well, we got our base back. We're 1 for 1 on the first bar of this tweezer. Crossing the 8-period now. If it can close a nice hammer here, we can continue on up to the 50% at about 414.70.
now I just need to figure out how to analyze the market in the morning and get my bias.
There's your lower division test for Q. Watch for a push through here or a rejection here. And again, SPY, if that closes an inverted hammer or a spinner right here, it can certainly come back and test that 414 pivot one more time.
I think the idea is not to have a bias, but just
Bam.
to set up, like Jeremy always says, the if this then that, you know?
Right.
No bias. You never, ever,
Well,
ever
no,
want to
you know,
have bias.
that's kind of what I mean. So
Yeah.
Well,
I say the same thing. I always think of it as a bias also.
Yes,
You always have a bias. It's hard to get rid of.
so
I have
But,
an idea I think is going to happen and have a plan, but I'm not
Right.
even close to there. I'm still
I
trying
can-
to figure out what to look at.
I can touch on that a bit in a moment. Here we go with a quarter break here. Watch for a support test, and then we should resume at least half of that move back up to the regression line on Q. So opening range breakout is what we're trading here. And when you have a bias, you wait for this range to break out or range to finish, and it'll tell you your bias for the later in the day. In the morning on the opening range, you don't typically want to have a bias. You want to trade candle for candle because you have no idea what the trend's going to be until later. Yesterday, for instance, we had that 1 for 1. It set up very choppy, very hard to predict that 1 for 1. Once I knew the breach was there, I was signing off, and I'm like, damn it, I know it's there. We had the box on it, and it went exactly to the bottom of that box. I mean, it perfectly finished that move. That was able to set up a bias off the opening range. Did it hold the rest of the day? Hell no, because power hour, we found liquidity down here and smoked a 3 for 1 right here, or 2 for 1 right here. So your bias can change, but when you're trading in a bias, you got to figure out what time of day you want that bias. And let's convert this into looking at bar 41.
Yeah, I said it wrong. I need to kind of, just have a better pre-market plan and then try to trade the candles. I don't know. I only have an hour to trade. So.
Yeah, so you're going to be primarily trading opening range break, so you never want to have a bias going into that. Even if you analyze the pre-market and you kind of know where the angular are, like here we have an old angular. That goes way the hell back, but we came and respected it. And then in the pre-market on the 5 second, we did have this guy right here. We knew that was in play. And dude, it was in play beautifully. So trading candle for candle, easy peasy off of that. Got a bearish 1 for 1 and everything. We get the 2 for 1, actually. So there's your measured move. There's your first breach. There's your 2 for 1. Correlating this with the 1 minute chart, we knew where the 414 pivot was. We knew where liquidity was. We know exactly where that supply zone broke. So we did have a bias of being bearish from that break, but we didn't have a bias in the opening range until that break. So like, it depends on what part of this you're going to trade. And you can trade the first part. That's the risky part. Once you have a clean rejection and a support line break, there's where your bias can be, at least for about, 20, 30 minutes. You can have a bias and take that trade. That could be your one trade of the day.
What's the hour that you can trade, bud? Out of curiosity. You're saying you can only trade 1 hour of the day?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I have to trade before work.
right. So he's got to leave at like
Before
10:30.
work.
So I
So the open is
seven or 7:30.
the open is a crappy hour to trade. I mean, it's a good hour to trade if you're good at it, but it's not an hour to trade if you're
Right.
not good at it. Why not trade? Why not trade Eurostox 50 or the DAX instead?
That's
what?
a really good idea.
Yeah,
Because then you'd be
'cause-
trading power hour instead of you'd be
only
trading
trade-
European power hour, which is you get to see the whole day setup instead of like having to sitting around and wait for your entire hour to see what it's going to do, and then have what it's going to do it right after you have to get off the computer.
right.
Uh,
Hey, double bottom.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm trading futures and the Nasdaq.
but Eurostox 50 is futures and DAX has futures also,
Yeah,
and they're both as liquid as the ES.
Right.
Or as
Right.
liquid as they need to be. They're not actually as liquid as the ES, but they're as liquid as they need to be.
I basically trade from 8:30 to 9:30 or 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Which is perfect. That's power hour in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I try. Getting nowhere, but I try.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, we might get a snap back to 50% here on IWM. This is looking like an IW or inverted head and shoulders. IHS, geez, IW. We're looking for a resistance break here. 178.33 would be the pick. If that comes up, our play would be target 178.60 and 178.66 to 70 for the extension into the 50%. We're above the bottom quarter line for QQQ, and if we continue to push through that 5-second 200 period, we can go for half that up to 320.24. Might even hit regression up here to 320.65. SPY, same follow through. We got a double bottom here. There's your R1 or your H1, and if we push that, we can set up and start walking back targets. But the 50% retracement isn't much of a move, 414.70. That gives you what about a 4-point from here if it resumes on the futures, but it's worthwhile. Let's see if I can set that up real quick before it prints out. The other scenario, this can be a bear flag if it doesn't hold the support here on R2 or on L2. We can fail this, and this can become a bear flag, and that can be a 1-for-1 down to about 412.70. Just eyeballing it. Let me draw a box just in case. Yeah, 412.40 even. There it is, 412.55. So double bottom confirms there's your targets for retracement. We can come back and test our supply zone, or if we break over, we got this move here. So this is a wait for the setup to complete, trade the break. Looking nice and roundy here on IWM. And again, there's a resistance zone here. And Q's struggling with that 200 period on the 5-second, so. Hell, we got a new fan line here. Whoops. Go with this line.
Target 41.85 if we break high here.
Yeah, it's looking.
Although we're doing this small little pin and stuff, you know.
There you go.
Oh, right, 41. Oh,
That might be a very good idea for you, bud, because it gives you more time to analyze the market and figure out a bias. And because you're stressed for trading in the first hour of the market, because of your time schedule, it might be the way to go because you can get a little bit more insight into what the market's done and figure out, a trade plan a little more efficiently there. Because trading opening range, man, it is freaking challenging, even for me. And if you're having a
Yeah,
very
it's a
hard
lot.
time with it, it's going to be frustrating downright.
It's not having a hard time. Like, I'm seeing things. What drives me nuts is not being able to use toss, not being able to analyze the market before it opens, not being able to see things, and barely being able to chart. That's what's driving me nuts.
Right.
I don't really have an opening market, you know, routine.
You watch Sigs?
I do, and yeah, I do.
He does the same thing. Have you seen his website where he lays out like step one, open financial news. Step two, look at this thing. Step three, look at this thing. I mean, he actually has that. He has the. You could just copy his.
all right, we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high lows on the 1 minute on the ES right now.
Yeah. We got a channel pattern.
Very nicely aligned, all of them.
Yeah. That
So
is.
and we're just entering a squeeze as well. So we're squeezing through this. So it's time for measured move, quintuple.
Yep. Either up or down from here.
You know, take on if you're looking at the 5 minutes, take that big bar at 10:05 and measure that bar, and that's your measured move target basically.
Yeah, this guy here. And the funny thing is you can go and set that whole thing up.
Hey.
And it becomes about half the box here. So if we get a bearish measured move, half leg, 413.25. That 10:05 bar is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles here to here. It gives you about half the box. IWM, nice
The
break.
10:05 bar is the range.
It gives you range for half of the measured move. So if this is your full leg, then that 10:05 bar gives you about a half leg. This is your 10:05 bar right here. So this is your full
Gotcha.
leg. This is a half leg.
Okay.
So you're drawing that box as if it's going to break over.
It's in a zone between two zones. So we have bearish
Right,
measured move
yeah.
is if this breaks as a bear flag. We know we're about half and full boxes. If it breaks bullish across this resistance line, we get this is your first leg, and then your second leg would complete the move up to the supply zone up here.
Got you.
IWM's looking strong. We're pushing the target one, and the extension is the 50% retracement. So I'll hold my cursor on that. 378.70 is the full 50% retracement. There's a target right here, 378.60, and that's just this control bar right here. Real simple to see. Q is playing on regression, kind of in a similar fashion, but it didn't have that reversal. This is just a big range. All ranges break. When they do break, you can trade the break. But you got to have a bias when it does. And we're center right now. That's on the regression line.
So I'm
There
gonna
we go.
take a trade of a snap right here.
We're testing right here. This can often be a very quick and volatile move. So we've had a lot of consolidation here. I'm going to watch a news ticker for a minute because I suspect we're going to see something pop real quick.
Yeah, we have
Awesome
some
with it.
talking heads today, don't we? Or is that tomorrow? I think every day this week we've got some Fed chairs speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Let me see here. Economic insight.
There's a lot of stuff today, huh?
Let's see. We got 52-week bill
There's
auction
a
coming
lot of
out.
stuff, but I think there's somebody
Ed
speaking.
Bowman
and
speaks today.
Okay.
Bowman speaking today. And Bank of England also speaking at.
Yeah. Bowman at 1
Wait,
o'clock.
that's 2 o'clock for you guys. That's 1 o'clock for you guys. Yeah, Bowman at 1.
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
2 o'clock. That's 2 o'clock for you guys.
Let me print a.
19 minus. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm on Eastern time, so here's your table. All right, tested resistance here. Looking more and more like a bear flag, but don't rule it out until you see the break.
Come on, Bears.
Right?
Amen. Problem is we've left unfinished business at the top here, so
Yep.
we're gonna get back up there sooner or later. So
I
I don't know
agree.
how
We
strong I feel about, and we had a lot of absorption there at what is that, 4170. I can't read because it's
We could
75, 41, 75, 76. We got a lot of buyers there. And that's why we're forming this higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And that little, I don't know what you call it, a triangle. Is that a triangle that's forming right there? We're flattening it up on the top and
What-
keep rising on the bottom.
What time frame?
I'm look at that 10-second chart I just posted right there. So it looks like we're doing a triangle. I posted my measured moves as well off of that. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a break above 41.81, 41.82. There's some wicking areas over there, but I'm looking at least a 2 or 3 point
You
grab
got it
on
in the
that.
oh, you got it in the stream chat. There it is. Yeah. Looking at the
Yeah.
same resistance. I'm going to set up a couple angulars too because we do have an interesting setup here. This is a big wedge.
Yeah, it's like exactly. That's a nice little, little wedge forming right there. Or is it a, ascending triangle, whatever that's called, right?
Right. It's in a channel though too, so you got your angular support down here. You have a skew line here, and you have your angular resistance up here. 50% retracement would take us down to the bottom of that box exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And continuation would set us up for a 5-wave climb out for a close towards the 416 pivot.
All right, we flipped around.
we go.
We
Yep.
didn't make another high low.
Nope, we rejected that resistance. Now we're looking for the measured move.
Yep.
Remember, there's a half leg first. 413.25. Continuation would take it down to 412.50.
Oh, look at
Bam! Love it.
that. Wow. Damn. See, I had an order thinking this was gonna, squeeze up a little, but I didn't get triggered up there, so I'm okay.
Yeah, good. No bad news.
Right, I made
Yeah,
some.
but I thought of just putting a short because I saw that rejection on that higher low, and I'm like, 41.78. I should have gone in at that one. That would have been a
Yeah.
4-pointer.
The signal
Damn
to
it.
sell on Q was right over here when it breached this support right in this area. Pew. See ya.
Yeah, I missed that one too. It was fast.
Yeah. I knew it was
I-
going to
I
be
was
fast.
already- I got it, but I only made like $20 on that.
Hey,
Nice.
But I made $50 on the first one, so I'm going to walk away for the day.
there you go.
Thanks, guys.
$70 bill? Hell yeah.
Smart,
Nice
Not
work.
me, huh?
smart.
Obviously, but still. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely day.
You
You
too.
too.
Take care.
Great job. All right, we're looking for that halfway push down to the 413.25. We're setting up another leg
Is it?
consolidation here. Boop, there's your breach. And test that 8 period, and we should see it continue on down, but weird how
Oh,
it kind of ran
boy.
out of gas so fast.
It actually went long here for a bounce. Let's see. We got those 0 prints. We got to go back up there and clean up.
Yep.
It's actually a good point to go long. That's the 200 on the 15 minutes. But I see there's at 41.51, there's a nice little demand area right there from yesterday. That's where we double bottomed.
Yeah, we could probably find a wick somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. That one right there would be a quick demand zone.
Yep.
Good eye, Captain.
Looking, you know, looking.
I think we might print another very rapid bar. Here it comes. Dude, this is like stalking the bears right here. Watch this. 413.52.
Yeah, I haven't seen a sign of a reversal yet, so I'm not going long.
Nope.
We're-
That's gonna finish a leg over. Yeah, we're going for the middle of the box, guys.
Still got 2 minutes on this bar, you know.
But I mean, look how
If they want,
fast
they
that
can
trigger
get down
was,
to
though.
41.67, which is the 4-hour mid Keltner right there.
This is a 5-second bar. Here's your accumulation. There we go. We're going. Sayonara.
$1 scalp right there.
There it is. Comes your retracement.
Netflix flicked over. And Tesla got a hella short pattern set up. I don't know. It's the perfect H.
Nice. Ooh, a couple of the regional banks got hammered.
Gosh, I gotta do some work.
I'm still over here selling January 2025 50-cent puts on MULN. It's hilarious. There we go. Finally. Big bar we were looking for. Crushed 413.25. We went through it.
I caught some of that and I caught $30. Perfect.
Nice work. But 1 for 1. This bar, that bar. Done. We're still going to fall a little bit, though. I think we got news all the way down to 412.50. Let me adjust that. There we go. And then we're in yet another division on our Q chart here. If you want to throw extra lines into that range expansion pattern. I wonder if I can pull that up on a 30-second chart and see it better. And here was our...
Wow, look at that. Boom, I said 41.67. That right spot on.
Nice. Q.
It's like I turned to the side to type in message and
Is that the one you posted?
yeah, so if you look at what I posted up there, we already blew through those levels because I didn't post a short because I thought we were gonna squeeze up and maybe go up. So I posted the long targets, but the short targets they all have been met.
Watch for a tweezer here or a morning star on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah, we did 41.66, so we hit the Keltner right spot on.
The other possibility here is we get a bar, spinner, bar, but I think we're going to have a morning star first. Quick 1-for-1 target would be 413.47.
Yeah, we're going to close that bar gap at 41.53, man. ADR is at 41.51, so bar gap's at 41.53. We got a 2-point liquidity below the gap. Possible.
Look, I put in that 8th division bar here on that pattern from Q. Dude, I love those. They're so telling. When you get these expanding channels like this, you can just keep dividing the range, and you can plot very quick price targets over and over and over again until you get a new fan line set up. And the fan line usually comes from accumulation. When you get the setup on it, like we had back here, you figure out where your first fan line is, and then your second fan line. They intersect, they expand. That sets up your angular resistance, angular support on the output side, right? And then you can just subdivide the crap out of that all you want. Throw a regression line in there, know where the regression break is. That's all subdivisions from there. That price will track every stinking one of them. Right off this 8th, this is the quarter. If you want to draw 16s in there, you can. It's right here. Pretty obvious. Make the 16 a weird color. Boop, back to the 8th. Although I'm a little bit curious to see if this little tweezer helps out for a reversal right around here on IWM. It breached the 50% retracement of this 1-for-1 here. We could attack yesterday's low down here to 177.15, but we've got an in-between because you see all this doji party and chop here. There's a pivot right there. It'll be about 177.60, and kind of in between two bars. Ugh. Yawning way more than I usually do. It's going to be grindy from here. This isn't earnings week, so it's like we're going to have a lot more volatility on opens and closes. In the middle of the day is going to get probably flat today and tomorrow. But essentially, we will come out of this with a trend by, I think, at least by the middle of next week, maybe sooner. And it will either be to the bull side or the bear side for SPY. I mean, this is looking a little more double toppy. This reach here can be a blow off, where you come up to the key pivot, which we did, that 416, and break over. But look at the weekly chart. There's still an angular here. There's still a possibility of a trend breakout. So if this, then that. If we breach here, we can trend out bullish. If we reject here, we can trend out bearish. And you could treat it with a standard fan line. Right down from the high. So if this is your top of the range, angular resistance, bottom of the range, angular support, note that the conversion looks weird just like it did with Q. It's between two zones. And then you can just draw your regression line right in here. And then you can do subdivisions in that if you want, but go back to a daily chart. You'll see it gives us clean price action targets. If this, then that. If we breach here, cool, we can be bulls. If we reject here, we get to be bears. We don't care, we're omnivores, we just trade the price action. We'll eat bulls, bears, and pigs.
Where do the pigs come into it?
Greed.
There we go.
So when I say that, like a lot of speculative traders will buy an option and sit on it expecting it to expire in the money because they're greedy. And I love selling those options to people. So in a sense, I eat pigs that way.
Nicely done.
I thank you. All right, we're back up to the eighth line. Or quarter line, sorry.
I still haven't figured that that stream there just in the Discord there, Casper.
Really?
Yeah, I used that Revo uninstaller like 3 times already, and every time I try to watch the stream on my laptop, it doesn't connect.
You want to do do you have TeamViewer on your computer?
Do I have what?
TeamViewer
Not sure.
or Quick Assist? Search your computer for Quick Assist or TeamViewer, and I can, if you don't mind, I can log into your computer quickly and just fix it for you.
Got on-demand tech support, guys. Who's the best group out there? Sorry, well, I'll try not to break my arm and pat myself on the back.
I do have Quick Assist.
Okay, dude, I'll sign off from here. Give me a call and I'll just fix it. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, there's your quarter line. This is the if this then that moment. This is your division of if this then that. And then I'm going to put in another eighth line, kind of hanging out right here. Make it a funky color. If we breach this, we go this way. If we reject here, we go this way. Real simple. Trade the break. In the words of Eddie Van Halen, one break coming up.
That'll date you.
There you go.
I think I was 13 when that song came out.
Yeah. Oh man, that's one of the best. There we go. One break. And I mean, you can subdivide this stuff over and over again. We can go to 16s, 30 seconds, whatever you want. It's all expanding, so you'll have all these lines coming into play. It's just weird how it always gives you one-for-ones between ranges of divisions on a channel like that. Like here would be your 16th line right here. Here's the 16th line about right here. They're invisible. I'm not going to draw them because my chart's convoluted enough, but you get the idea. It just gives you a quick setup for a measured move. Either way you look at it. There's your leg, consolidate, leg. Done, right? You could take that trade. That's a trade you could do on the NQ very easily. As soon as I get my stupid plaid to get my transfer going into, whatchamacallit, Optimus Futures, I'll be up and rolling with that, so I'll get those charts going as soon as I can. I still haven't figured out how to get a 1 second chart on there, but Casper swears I can, so I'll see what I can do. Or 1 and 5 second charts, sorry. All right, we got our bar back. We're back to that 50% retracement line. Okay, now what? Well, let's look around. What is setting up here? We got potential for a reversal here. Retracement line comes to here. Actually, I'm going to borrow that. It's not there. It's here. So IWM to about 178.22 would be a 50% retracement. First resistance is going to be 178.02 right here at the R1. About to hit it. We got our division lines on Q in the fan. There's your 16th line right here. Is it 16th or 8th? I can't remember. Let's see, so 1, 2. This is quarter. This is 8. So it's a 16 line. Sorry. Brain dead sometimes. So this would be a 32nd line. Setting up for 1, heading for the 16 line. There is another 32nd line right about here. Watch for price to accumulate here for a moment. And that's kind of a difference I did want to touch on between Q and SPY. SPY, fan lines are easy, but they're never precise. By tradition, the fan lines start from a single point and expand out. With SPY, they're constantly changing, and that's the volatility difference between SPY and Q. Like, you could draw those lines, but they never tend to really focus on a divergence point. It's usually all over the place, so you just kind of draw seemingly random fan lines. You just go from one resistance to one support, draw an angular, and you can get them. But with Q, it typically is a little bit easier, so maybe I can kind of change it up a little bit and start running with Q because they're easier to find and easier to read. All right, there was your accumulation on the 32nd line. Running for the 16. I don't think I want to divide it by 64ths. But the whole purpose of having all these different variations of analysis on different time frames is not only to find what works for you, but to give you many different ways to come to the same conclusion. And you can cross-reference these different ways of looking at your drawings, and you can find efficiency in that because you can find a consolidation of all of it will give you a higher probability of finding your price targets. So like here, we're running for that 16. That's a 319 pivot line. And it's just clean. You get 1-for-1s over and over and over again, right? That is the whole point of trading futures, is scalping these little 1-for-1s all day long. Look, there's your turnover. There was your limit order to get the hell out. Everybody's taking profit here. Running back to the 32nd line. I mean, I don't just make it look easy. You can do it too, I promise you. You just got to be patient and figure out what works best for you, and then also learn some other stuff so you can, like I said, consolidate all that information, and you can have a lot more accuracy and efficiency in doing so. That is just textbook, guys. Glorious.
Got my long.
Nice work.
I think trading is easy. We make it hard, man.
We do.
Oh, that's
we do.
Because our psychological brain
Yeah.
right here
Yep.
keeps telling us that it's hard, you know?
Yeah. And that's
So think about this. So newbies, right? You get a newbie, a lot of newbies come in and they just start hammering stuff out and, you know, getting their things on because they didn't go through the psychological phase of it, right? Now, there are some newbies that get stuck into paper trading that never get into the real trading.
right.
So I
It's
think
it's like
my personal opinion is trading is easy. Don't make it hard, because if you keep putting 75 different strategies in your head and 300 indicators into your chart and all that other stuff, then yeah, you're never going to get anywhere.
nope.
Tiny object syndrome will kill you.
Yes. Death
Sorry?
by 1,000 cuts.
Tiny object syndrome.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for that indicator or that something that's going to tell you, it's replication. It's finding someone that can teach you. It's becoming teachable. It's being resilient, because you're gonna lose money. You're gonna be wrong a lot. So you got to be able to come back to the table and shake it off and do it again.
Yep. And just know when to sit out when you have to sit out.
That's it.
Like I was wrong earlier today when I was expecting it to break above 4182 on the ES. It didn't. I haven't done anything ever since. I went to do something else. I got a granola bar, something. I'm waiting for something else to happen for me now.
Yeah, that whole
I think we're gonna squeeze around here. We're trapped.
yeah.
We're gonna squeeze for a little bit, and if we break down, we're going to go close that 4152 area that I was talking about, 4153 right there. And that's pretty much where. Because the next open one I got is 4153. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the target.
So it's like you get your lizard brain trained, and you kind of have that instinctive reaction to price action, and that's where trading discipline becomes the hardest, because your logical mind and your irrational mind or your emotional mind are both trying to talk you out of it. So it's like there's the control in there. The instinctive brain knows what to do. Instinct is just reaction to what you're seeing and experiencing. Whereas when you sit there and overthink it, one, by the time you come up with a conclusion, it's already too late to take a move. And then you get that anxiety of, I've got to take a move. You feel like you have to be there. So shutting that off is like the hardest thing you can do when it comes to trading. And that's why I've probably got to write a sequel to that relaxed trading article, and kind of explain a little bit more about how to shut that down. How to put yourself in the third person and just be the guy observing the argument in the room between that emotional side and that overthinking or logical side, and just let the instincts kind of do their thing. So I do need to write some more on that. I got a lot of writing projects as it is, but that's what I want to do. But the simplicity of finding the price action setups that work for you. I mean, look how easy it is to plot these lines and just trade from one to the other. You could do it all damn day. And when the trend changes, you just draw a new set of lines and go the other way. Delete all this crap, start over. It can really be that easy, all right? Here's your 30-second line break, right? We went to the 16 line. There's your accumulation. Where are we going? Pretty easy. It's the next 16 line or the quarter line. Sorry, 8th line. I keep getting that mixed up. But it's like you get this down, and it's like you see it this simple. The hardest thing is to not let yourself get talked out of it. Just react and do. And then the only thing you really need to have the rational mind control to do is to know when to cut losses when you're wrong. That's all it needs to do. Bam, order filled.
I take it that all of my losses are educational costs.
There you go. That's a good way to think about it.
That's how I think of it, People go to college, pay for college, and get nothing out of it,
Oh, yeah.
I know many people that went to do something and they don't work in their related field. I'm one of them, 2 degrees in engineering and all that crap. I don't do anything with it.
Well, I come to find that diversity is important too, especially with I mean I've been a mechanic for many years. I also have delved into like carpentry, electrical work, a whole bunch of
Oh yeah.
different diagnostic stuff, facilities maintenance, welding and metal fabrication. I've got like a very broad spectrum of things I know how to do very well. And it comes down to everything in my brain tells me don't become a specialist. Don't just focus on one field. Be diverse and ready to fall back on anything you may need in life. And it plays out in trading too. You can't just be focused on one thing. You've got to be able to adapt with the market and the conditions change. You've got to be able to be diversified and see this and know a different plan for every scenario or every situation.
Yep, I agree.
Nice tweezer right there, baby. Yeah.
So I think we've done 1 push, 2 push, 3 push. If we do an overshoot, I'm looking at the overshoot at 4160. But if we don't do an overshoot, this could be a possible consolidation for a little bit here, and then we kind of take off again to the upside.
Right.
I don't have a firm confirmation of going into the upside. I do have a confirmation that we are getting into a squeeze area, right? We're starting to squeeze here.
Right.
We're creating another box, right? So if I draw up another box here,
We're in that realm.
now there is a what the wolf wave thing.
Yeah.
We don't have a clear wolf wave, but that 4175 right there, it's kind of not a real wolf wave. It's just a resistance, a support that became resistance, right?
Right.
At 4175, at the 4175 area.
So relative to SPY here, 4160 would be the 416 pivot.
Yep.
And
So that's where I have 4160 is my overshoot. And if we really want to overshoot, then we're going down to 4153 to close the gap, the bar gap. And 51 for the liquidity. Because we're still within the ADRs, right? For today. And the ADR is at 4151 and 4202.
You know what I'm going to say? Let's take a vote. The cleaner price action is obviously on Q. Would you guys rather I focus on Q for teaching because it's a little bit easier to follow these very simple fan lines?
It's easier to watch. It's not easier to trade.
Right, because you wouldn't be in
And you know what? When I trade the Q, or I actually trade NQ or MNQ, I only look at the ES. I don't chart anything.
I mean, like I said, you get a little bit more volatility on the ES and thus SPY versus the QQQ and NQ and MNQ. But I find that there's fluidity in Q that you just don't have with SPY. It's very choppy on SPY, whereas QQQ has a lot more fluidity to it. Just my experience.
Yeah.
It moves a lot faster and a lot bigger ranges because it's so thin.
Right.
So trading it can be tricky. Just careful, people.
Yeah, the NQ
it
had
whips you in because you feel like, oh, this is so easy until it whips you and smacks you in the face, kicks you and pushes you down a hill.
Right.
She's an evil girlfriend.
Well, trading the NQ last year in the beginning of the year was my biggest college tuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the biggest college tuition last year on NQ.
It'll eat your lunch, that's for sure.
So it isn't.
Yeah.
I just caution people listening because it seems great, but it's not an easy instrument to trade.
All right, we're in a 64th line here, and we just printed a big ass bar. That spread on that descending trend is just crazy how it's still playing out on all of these radiuses. But dude, it's simple to see. That's like you said though. It's a simple thing to see. It's a hard thing to trade because yes, it is it does have a lot bigger
Yeah, and I
range.
don't mean it all to be a Debbie Downer or anything. It
No.
just that's
You're right.
every single person I've ever known to trade the NQ, it has the same story.
Yep.
Some of them get really good at it. And some people, I know some people who only trade it, and I trade it quite a bit, but it is not easy, and it can go against you. You don't stay in trades there very long.
No. 'Cause it can definitely eat your lunch. And that is a difference. Like the MES versus the MNQ. The ES is much more, or the MES is much more forgiving if you're wrong than the MNQ.
Right. And it's very predictable. It's because it's less liquid.
Right.
Well, that's not true. It's more liquid. It has higher volume. The NQ is thinner, so it can travel. So if you have a bigger trader in there, 100 lot in the NQ can wipe you out.
Oh yeah.
Like all of your account. And there are traders in there that can do that, and they do that all the time.
Yep.
It's not that easy in the ES.
They'll bop it right over.
And there's not as many bots and that kind of stuff in the NQ, so it can move around a lot.
True. Look at this 1 for 1. Bam, bam. There's a subline here. So I guess we could compare it to like comparing sharks to largemouth bass. Compared to a largemouth bass, sharks are quite docile. And if sharks had the veracity of the largemouth bass, you wouldn't be able to get near an ocean, let alone put your foot in it. You know?
Like swimming with piranhas or something, yeah.
Yeah. Very aggressive. I'm just grateful sharks are as docile as they are because I like the ocean.
Like I have 712
Like
ticks
shark
in the
bait.
queue this morning because I've been trading it primarily. I've been trading it in opposition to the ES. So if I'm long ES, I'm shorting the NQ and building that short and kind of collecting. So that is kind of hedging because they were going opposite directions. Sooner or later, they're going to get correlated.
Right.
And when that happens, if I've done my job correctly, I'm positive in both.
They're highly correlated today. NQ
Oh,
and
earlier
ES.
this morning we had wild uncorrelation. Everybody's kind of gotten on the same page.
Yeah.
Because the YM was down like a lot and everybody else was pushing their highs. So I knew there was an opportunity to hedge that.
That won't be blue. Sorry. Trying to get my colors right. This would be the peach ring line. There we go. Oops.
There he goes. There we go.
Watch
There
for
we go.
your
Come
make
on.
it or break it moment. It's coming. I'm trying to
Come
set it up
on.
while we're talking.
Broke the downtrend.
Peach. There we go. This is your current regression line, and it's one of the 16 lines. Is that 16 or 3? I'm all mixed up by now.
Trend line.
Bam. 1 for 1 coming up.
So I guess we might not get that overshoot I was talking about.
This is looking like a giant Wu-Tang. Big old W. Watch for a higher right arm, and if it breaches this 50% retracement line, I'll drop it on here. You know what's up. And then this is your key pivot, that 414. That ain't going anywhere. Alright, accumulate a few bars on Q. It'll either break over and come back and test the 30-second line down here, because it did test the 30-second line up here. It'll either break over or it'll run for that 16 line. That'll be about the last trade I'm looking at for today. There we go. Give us a bar. Yeah.
We're in the box. We're in the box again.
And you can throw down a box on that. Put you right to that 16 line, baby, or 30-second line. Good grief. I want to see that on the 30-second chart again, because this is... That's a hell of a fan, guys. Look at that thing. But it's just so simple to trade that on a 5-second chart to me. Oh, box fail. We're back down. Get back in the box. Come on. Still holding that W, but we're not quite up to the R1 level yet. I'm going to borrow this right there. I'm going to get rid of this box. Back in that box at the center point right there. Can we
Well,
finish
all
it?
of this is happening. Let's talk some politics.
Well, all right. It has been awesome this morning. We've got lots and lots of gems in today's broadcast. If you're with us on YouTube, earmark this one. Watch it again. There was a lot of great insight and knowledge dropped today. And, you know, do us a favor. Tell your friends. We got a lot more coming. We're going to make trading look easy. And I've got a few...
Hey, Jeremy, what was the site? What was the site that Cass was talking about earlier? I don't know if it's not on the Bullish Bear site. Is Sig's own site?
Yeah.
And he has like the steps thing.
Yeah, it's oh, hang on, I don't know.
I had to
It's a YouTube channel
drop
too.
to do something else. I missed that conversation.
Let me get to it. Hold on a sec.
Is it called like OEC something?
Yeah, OEC, that's it. OEC, and he does mentorship too. So like he'll do sort of like as Bud put it, it's like hiring a golf pro to improve your game, so to speak.
Or is it OEC.com? What was it called?
It's either .com or .net. I don't remember.
No, that's not it. OEC.com is not it.
Well, if you tag Sig, he'll post it for you. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's also part of a
I kind of like OEC.com. It's like some AI thing.
interesting.
Look at
The things you discover randomly when you're looking for something else.
that. I know. Why OEC? Focus on your success.
There you go. Whew.
It is an investment advisory, though.
Something to be mindful of. All right. Well, this is our grindation time. We can go sideways for most of the day, like we were saying. We get the opening range break. This is where it accumulates, and you can do it all damn day. And compared to yesterday, it was choppy. It consolidated for a long time before it ripped. I think much of the same today. But watch this angular. This angular is going to be important here. Because if we can track price back above that 414 pivot, 416 is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. That's a $2 bill, 200-point move. Easy peasy. But watch this angular, though. If we break it, we can get a bearish 1-for-1 right down to 412 just as easy. So watch this accumulation in this area. All right. There's Q, top of the box. Running right to the next fan line, dude. Predictable. Eventually, took a little bit of consolidation, tested that 200 period up through this fan line. Bam. Like I said, 1-for-1s all day long when you know where those fan lines are.
All day long. All day, all
All righty then.
day long. All day, all day, all day long.
We could put together parody songs all day long. We can relate everything to music in the market. And it's it's like that the note scales and everything, dude. It's all there. All right then. Well, I'm gonna.
So I guess I shared with everyone that news on Tradeovate, right, where they're gonna start charging $25 if your account is inactive for the month.
Oh, wow.
So if you don't take any trades in that month, they will charge you an extra $25 on top of the data feed.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They're just hard
They're
up for
basically
commissions, aren't
saying,
they?
you better trade and lose your money or something,
Yeah.
or you're gonna pay us $25.
Screw that. I'm not dealing with them anymore. Sorry.
I mean, I finally got Ninja installed in my machine, but I haven't done a data thing yet. So I needed to get
Well,
Windows installed in a virtual and all that. I don't have enough. I don't
gotcha.
think. And Ninja won't let me play with it even without having the data.
Right.
So that I need to pay for the data in order to play around with the tool.
I mean, just know that one owns the other. Ninja owns Tradeovate, so.
Yeah, it's the same. Is exact the online interface, the web interface is exactly the same, but there are certain things that I got that are coded for TOS that work also in Ninja, and I'm trying to get those built in there so I can remove TOS from the equation, right? Because right now I got side by side TOS and Tradeovate.
Right.
I would like to have Ninja in Tradeovate or do all my execution in one and cascading down to the others, right?
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Because that's something that I've been looking into.
And we're working into that partnership with TradingView, so we'll keep you guys posted. It's all going down this week.
But so the thing about TradingView is expensive, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing is like I get everything that TradingView has for free. So it would be the same. I would be in the same exact thing right now where I would have TradingView and paying for TradingView versus just having my free. And then I would have to figure out all that I got coded for, for TOS.
Oh, right.
Where is it? And if it exists or somebody that can help me transfer to TradingView. It's a lot.
I know a software developer who does exactly that. He translates everything between TradingView and TOS and also Tradeovate, so he can put script in there too. I'll have to hit him up and see if he's available to spend some time on something like that. All right, well, I'm going to finally sign off. I got to get a whole bunch of background stuff done, and then I just got an email to see
See you later, guys.
set up a meeting with the dude we're talking to from TradingView to see if we can get a really killer deal for our members. It's going to be game on, and I'd like to see if we can get a really good deal with them. So I'm talking to the people who are a bit above the common affiliate managers. We're looking at talking to them and being exclusive with them for our demonstrations. So if everything goes right, we'll exclusively use TradingView, and if that is the case, we're looking to provide a much better discount than is available out there for everyone else for our members. So that's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. We're going to negotiate our asses off with them and see what we can do. Woo, look at that. Beautiful. Right to it. Gosh, I'm starting to really love Q again.
In the box.
Get back in the box. All right, where's that cat meme? There it is. Back in the box.
To the top of the box, from the bottom of the box.
I
I
love
think
it.
this is going to set up for the overshoot. Although we're making
Yeah.
higher lows again,
The
we
five,
haven't made a high. We haven't made a lower low.
right? And the 5's lining up right with that stinking angular bottom of that channel
Mhm.
beautifully. In fact, I'm going to keep that on my grid today on the 5 minute instead of the 1 minute for today because of that. And I apologize for interrupting my stream yesterday. I had to use my computer for a bunch of other stuff. Right around, I think it was 2 o'clock. I just had a whole bunch of stuff I needed to do, and I needed processing power.
And look at this. That's the reversed.
All right, then, guys. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go and eat my lunch before the market eats it for me. I'm doing pretty good with a few trades this morning so far. And I want to keep it. So I'll see you guys a little later. Tomorrow for sure, later in Power Hour if I can. I really missed out on a great move for Power Hour yesterday, and I was just caught up in my projects. So, but
All right, man. I'll catch you later.
we'll see you around. And hit me up if you guys have any questions or need anything from me. Tag me. I usually do respond even if I am in the middle of something. So anyway, see you guys all tomorrow at the very least, possibly today into Power Hour.